Hi, my name is Robert, and today I'm going to be running you through one of my favorite Devos that we would do in Dogwood this summer, down at Lutheran Hills. So, this is a verse that I heard a long time ago at camp, and it's just kind of stuck with me. I guess you could say that the whole thing of the Devo is going to be about living a prayerful life. So, we're pulling from one of Paul's letters. This is in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verses 16 through 18. Rejoice always, pray without ceasing. Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. So, I know that this isn't going to be a new verse by any means. In fact, a lot of you probably have heard it before. But that doesn't change how impactful it is to me. So, we're going to stick with that always and pray all the time without ceasing. And we're going to switch topics for a little bit before we come back to it. Stick with that idea, though. We're going to talk about planes. Jet planes in specific. So, jet planes have this really cool thing that they can do where they burn fuel in their engine. And then the air comes out of their engine, and they go real fast that way. Then they use something called the afterburners. So after the fuel has been burnt in the engine, they burn it one more time as it's coming out, making the air come out hotter and faster, so they go faster that way. But they can't do that forever. So let's say that this imaginary plane, it's got a top speed of 1,000 miles an hour. If they turn on their afterburners, again, just made up numbers, they've got 1,500 miles an hour as their top speed. What would you call their top speed? The 1,000 or the 1,500? Because personally, I'd call their top speed the 1,500 with the afterburners. But like I just said, you can't use the afterburners forever. With the afterburners, you're using way more fuel. You are going faster, but you're not going further. You're using so much fuel that it's just not going to be something you can do for a long time. Too much fuel is being used, not enough time. So if you need to cross a short distance, there you go. But if you're trying to travel, if you're trying to get to wherever your destination is, you're not going to use your afterburners. It just doesn't make sense. So, going back to this verse real quick, pray always. Paul doesn't mean that you need to have your head sitting there bowed 24/7, praying and mumbling under your breath. Paul doesn't mean you need to always be jumping and skipping and that kind of rejoicing. And that's why I really like this verse, because it's not just talking about prayer. It's not just talking about your thoughts. It's not only talking about the words or the actions. It's all of them. So, it's everything. You're supposed to change your very being so that the thoughts that you form, the actions you take, and the words that you speak are all prayers. And that to me is so freaking amazing. And this would usually be the point where I would talk to my cabin and say, we're going to challenge ourselves to live a prayerful week at camp. But I almost feel like it's more exciting that we're not at camp this time. Because now instead the challenge is to just live a prayerful life like it was written in the Bible. So, afterburners, right? You can't go all out all the time, or else you'll run out of fuel way too quickly. And living a prayerful life, it's not one where you're always sitting there adorned with your head down, where you're hiding away in some tower in a monastery. It's not that. We're called to make our whole life devoted to our faith. But we can't push the limits forever. You can flip through videos on this channel, or you can flip through the Bible. There's so many references in the Bible about rest. Rest is an important part in the spiritual process just as much as anything. And so this is why I loved the fun little example with the jet planes. Because really, we are the jet planes. We are the ones who cannot be pushing it with our afterburners forever. We do have to take that time to pause. Just like the jet planes, we have to not be going at our top speed always. But we can make it prayerful rest. As we're resting, we can talk to others and have that community. We can think those thoughts, ready ourselves for when we're called next. So, that's the challenge that I was given and that I like to give out to others. Go out and live a prayerful life. Pray without ceasing. All right, that's all for now. Thank you and goodbye.